all the gifts are down there. And the certificates are below. The temple certificates are the thin envelope, and then below it is the big packet for the mitzvah. Oh, I'm supposed to put the chain of memory. Wait a second.
Is there supposed to be a talus draped for the chain of memory?
So I don't really like that. Oh no.
Is it over here, right?
Yeah. Hold up. I'm not.
Do you have any responsibilities like opening the art?
No, I'll do it. And then I'll help bring these up when it's time. Okay. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. If we could all take our seats, we're ready to begin. We're going to begin our service with a little bit of music as we sing the words found at the top of page 10. They are on 10, but actually we're going to go to 70. Let's do 70, it'll be closer. These words, Hine ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. They mean how good and pleasant it is that brothers and sisters dwell together. And we celebrate those words as we recite them this morning, the opportunity to gather together as family, friends. How nice it is that we were able to do this. Hine ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, la 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 la. Hine ma tov, la 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 la. Hine ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. So again, let me wish you Shabbat Shalom. I am Cantor Barry. Welcome to Congregation Ahavat Chesed. We've gathered here this morning to celebrate a very special occasion as Asher Gottlieb becomes bar mitzvah. I'm going to ask that you take a moment and silent your cell phones because, of course, Asher has worked very hard for this day, and we don't want those ringtones to disturb the sanctity of the moment. I'm going to ask that when you're in the congregation, you keep your masks on today. If you come up to read at the podium, you're welcome to take your mask off. The prayer book that we use here at Ahavat Chesed is called Mishkan Tefillah. It is the prayer book for the Union for Reform Judaism. And like Hebrew is read from right to left, our book opens from right to left as well. And we're going to be announcing pages as we go. But if we don't announce a page and you can't find where we're reading, just flip over one page because we've probably just moved on to the very, very next page. Now, it's a very important milestone that we're going to witness today, but we are not just here to watch. Our services are meant to encourage participation. I'm so excited to be able to say that. I've been singing into a screen and seeing people's mouths moving for over a year, but we want you to participate. There are going to be times we ask you to read along with us, sometimes join in song, and if you don't know the words, sing la, 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 la. Just join wherever you're comfortable. So it is my honor now to call Asher to the bima. He's going to begin with a reading that you'll find on page 170 in your prayer book.
May my life be one link in a chain of goodness as I say the prayers of my ancestors. Help me to recall their devotion and faithfulness, their joy and suffering, which are in every word. Holiness is my heritage. May I be worthy of it. May our tradition live in me and pass from me to generations I shall never know, enriched by the truth that I have found and the good deeds I have done. So may I fulfill my task on earth and receive my blessing. And when the service ends and the prayers have ceased, help me to bring their spirit into the world in which I live. May I love God above all and my neighbor as myself and be a living witness to the truth that never changes.
Mm-hmm. You'll notice I'm wearing the prayer shawl. Well, the important part of the prayer shawl is not the shawl itself, but what's hanging off of it. These fringes are called seat. And they're a system of knots, strings and knots that equal the number 613, which is the number of commandments in the Torah. And Torah instructs us to tie seat on the corners of our garments so that we may look upon them and remember the mitzvot, the commandments, our Jewish imperatives. Mitzvot are connections which link us with Torah and link us with God and link us with our ancestors. Tzitzit adorn the edges of our prayer shawls as mezuzot adorn the edges of our doorways. We find holiness at the edges, between day and night, between inside and outside, and today, between childhood and adulthood. Asher, when you wrap yourself in your talit, may you feel enfolded in the loving embrace of the divine. And when you notice your tzitzit, may you be reminded to lead a life of mitzvot and awareness. And it is my privilege to call to the bima to present you with your talit, your grandparents Mel and Debbie Gottlieb.
Asher, dear Asher, we are so proud of you and love you so much. You are so fortunate to come from two families with two religions to make you who you are. Today is such a special day for all of us as you begin a new chapter in your life, a bar mitzvah, a day you assume responsibility for yourself and your actions, a day when you count and are accountable.
This tallis was sent to us all the way from Israel to give to you. Our dear friends, Chaim and Etima Oates, went to Jerusalem to purchase this for your bar mitzvah.
This prayer shawl is intended to inspire you and show reverence to God as you pray.
Asher, you like to take things apart and put them back together. You're interested in how everything works. Well, the number of fringes on the talit is 600, combined with the 8 strings and 5 knots on each fringe equals 613. As the Cantor said, traditionally that is the number of mitzvot, good deeds, that God has commanded.
Papa and I are certain you will do many good deeds in your life. And when you put this tallis on, you will remember this day, your bar mitzvah, and all of us here and watching at home after this most peculiar year of all of our lives.
As I wrap myself in that talit, I fulfill the mitzvah of my Creator. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedishanu b'mitzvotah v'tzivanu lahitatef batzitzit. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with the mitzvot, commanding us to wrap ourselves in the fringes.
Our service is going to continue on page 74 with the words of Ma Tovu. Ma Tovu, Ma Tovu, Ohelecha Yaakov, Ohelecha Yaakov, Shkinotecha Yisrael. ואני ברוב חסדך אבוא אליך אשתחווה אליך קדשך יראתך מה טוב מה טוב Ohalecha Yaakov, Ohalecha Yaakov, Shkinotecha Yisrael. Adonai ahavti me'od beitecha, umkom mishkan kodecha. Ani ashtachvi li'echra. Lifnei Adonai osi, ma tov, ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, shkinotecha Yisrael, shkinotecha Yisrael, shkinotecha Israel. Page 78.
My God, the soul you have given me is pure. You created it, you shaped it, you breathed it into me, and you protect it within me. For as long as my soul is within me, I offer thanks to you, Adonai, my God, and God of my ancestors, source of all creation, sovereign of all souls. Praise to you, Adonai, in whose hand is every living soul and breath of mankind. Baruch atah Adonai, asher bayado nefesh, kol hai baruch, kol basar ish.
Amen. Beginning on page 80, you'll find a collection of blessings called Nisim B'chol Yom, the miracles for every day. This is a set of blessings that traditionally is recited at home upon waking. And if you notice, there is small writing in the outer margins of the page, and that tells you what the blessing is for. And they're for the very mundane things of awakening, of being able to see, the ability to stretch, rising to face the new day. But the blessings are written in very grandiose language befitting of God. These are things, of course, for which we are all grateful. And Asher's going to lead us in the Hebrew of these blessings, and we're all going to respond with the English translation.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan l'sech v'na l'havhin ben yom u'ben laila.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pakeach ivrim.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who opens the eyes of the blind.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam atir asarim.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who frees the captive.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kefufim.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who lifts up the fallen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rokach haaretz al hamayim.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who stretches the earth over the waters.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam chamachin mitzadei gaver.
Amen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who strengthens our steps.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim.
Amen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who clothes the naked.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanatain la'ya'ef koach.
Amen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who gives strength to the weary.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hemavir sheina me'enai u'numa me'af apai.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who removes sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tzelem Elohim.
Amen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who made me in the image of God.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani ben harim.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has made me free.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael.
Amen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has made me a Jew.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael b'gevurah.
Amen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who girds Israel with strength.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam atir Yisrael b'tifarah.
Amen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who crowns Israel with splendor.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedishani b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with the mitzvot, commanding us to engage in the words of Torah.
Page 88.
These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's mother and father, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead to burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all.
Our service will continue on page 106 with the Chatzi Kaddish. Yitgadal, Yitgadal, Shmei Rabbah, Yamad Yivrach Yerotev, Yamlich Malchutev, B'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayedechon Beit Yisrael, B'galav v'zaman kariv v'meru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach, Le'alam u'la'ni almaya, Yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal Shmei dekucha Richu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata dam yiran mi'alema v'yimeru. Amen. We turn to page 108 and rise together for our call to prayer. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamevorach Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Hamevorach Le'olam va'ed Hamevorach Hamevorach Le'olam va'ed. We turn over to page 110. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech haolam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech haolam. Yotzer or uvorei choshech Say shalom, shalom, uvorei et hakol. Yotzer or uvorei choshech. Say shalom, shalom, uvorei et hakol. Just below in the English.
Praised are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of light and darkness, who makes peace and fashions all things. In mercy, you illumine the world and those who live upon it. In your goodness, you daily renew creation. How numerous are your works, Adonai. In wisdom, you formed them all, filling the earth with your creatures. Be praised, Adonai, our God, for the excellent work of your hands and the lights you create. May they glorify you. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we may all swiftly merit its radiance. Praised are you, Adonai, creator of all heavenly lights.
Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer Hamarot. Bottom of page 113.
Love your neighbor as yourself, you said, and light blinded we saw that inner and outer worlds are one, as you are one. You spoke and we wrote. We reached for you down the centuries, your light moving before us. As we climbed, fell back, and climbed again, your Sinai of life. Baruch atah Adonai, habacher bayamo Yisrael b'achava.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. You can be seated. We turn over to page 116 as Asher leads us in the words of Ve'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha ub'chol nefshecha ub'chol me'odecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anahi mitzavacha hayam al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'diratam bam v'shivtecha b'vaytecha u'lechtecha v'aderech u'shechbaha u'vkumeha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letosefot bein einecha u'ktavtam al mezuzot bitecha u'visharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיהם. אני אדוני אלוהיהם, אשר הוציא אתכם מארץ מצרים, לכות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיהם.
We continue in the middle of page 121, reading responsively. Go ahead.
The eternal truth is that you alone are God, and there is none else.
May the righteous of all nations exult in your justice.
Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks.
Let nation not lift up sword against nation, nor learn war anymore.
You shall not hate your brother or sister in your heart.
The stranger that sojourns with you shall be accepted as your equal, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt.
Why do you crush my people and oppress the poor? Asked God.
We know that the Eternal One defends the poor and upholds the rights of the needy.
Praise to God Most High.
Blessed is God and deserving of blessing. At the top of page 122, you find our prayer for freedom, the Micha Mocha. Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nedod ba'kodesh, Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nedod ba'kodesh. Norati lo osef eleh, Norati lo osef eleh, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Shira chadasha shitfu ke'olim, Nashim ha'asafat hayam, Yachad kulam hodu, Vehim lehu ve'omru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha mocha nedod ba'kodesh, Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha mocha nedod ba'kodesh. Norati lo osef eleh, Norati lo osef eleh, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Zur Yisrael, kol ha'vi Ezrat Yisrael, ufdechenu mecha, Yehuda v'Yisrael. Go Aleinu, Adonai tzvaot shemo, Kedosh Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. We turn over to page 124, and we rise together as a community for the tefillah.
Adonai sivatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth can declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rahel, הגבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באחווה. מלך עוזר ומשיח ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רע להושיע. מרעיד אתה, מחכה היום בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים. סומך נבלים ואלפי הולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי המוך על גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך מעמיד ומחיה, ומצמיח הישועה. ונאמן אתה לכוחות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה זה ואמר, קדוש קדוש קדוש, אדוני צבאות, מלוך הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו, מהדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו ומלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד קולך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Let us be seated once more, and we continue at the top of page 132 as we rejoice in Shabbat with the words of Yismechu. Yismechu v'malachutcha, shomri, 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 Shabbat v'korei, ponei Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutcha, shomri, 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 Shabbat v'korei, ponei Shabbat. Mikadoshi Shabbat, kulam yizdu, v'tangu mitzvah Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutcha, shomri, 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 Shabbat v'korei, ponei Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutcha, shomri, 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 Shabbat v'korei, ponei Shabbat. Ratzita bo v'kidashto Shabbat, chemdat yamim תוקנות השבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת זכרי למעשה וראשית שבת זכרי למעשה וראשית שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת. Middle of page 134.
Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai, our God, grant us your holy Shabbat as a heritage. May Israel, who sanctifies your name, rest on Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
Page 137.
Ever-present one, may we, your people, Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadacha bayora na'avod.
On page 139, you'll find a list of things again for which we are grateful. And Asher's going to lead us in each paragraph, and we're going to respond with the words modim anachnu lach, which means we thank you.
For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imagination.
Modim anachnu lach.
For this fragile planet, Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons.
Modim anachnu lach.
For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements.
Modim anachnu lach.
For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression.
Modim anachnu lach.
For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared.
Modim anachnu lach.
For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom.
Modim anachnu lach.
For human liberties and sacred rights, for the opportunity to change, grow, to affirm and choose.
Modim anachnu lach.
We pray that we may not live by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulcha, na'eh lachadot.
We turn over to page 140 for Sim Shalom, one of our many prayers for peace. And Asher, if you would like to take a seat and get a load up for a moment, I'll bring you back in just a little bit. And please join with me. Sim Shalom, Tova Uracha, Bein HaChesed Rachamim V'Rachamim Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yisrael Amecha, Olcheinu Yotzeinu Kulanu Ke'echad, Ve'or Panecha, Kivior Panecha Natata Lanu, Adonai Eloheinu. shalom, tova u'bracha, chen v'chesed rachamim v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael alecha, Torat chaim ve'ahavat chesed, ve'ahavat chesed, u'tzedaka u'bracha ve'rachamim, ve'chaim ve'shalom. Sim shalom, tova u'bracha, chen v'chesed rachamim ve'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, v'tov einecha levanech, et amacha Yisrael, v'chol eikuv chosha, b'shlomecha. Sim shalom, tova u'bracha, chen v'chesed rachamim ve'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. We'll take a moment now for our own private prayers. Ose shalom b'mroma, u'yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom b'mroma, u'yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom b'mroma, u'yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Oseh shalom b'mromav, u'yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mromav, u'yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mromav, u'yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. It's time now for the Seder Kriyat HaTorah, the service for the reading of Torah. I'm going to have everyone turn over to page 244. And we invite up to the bima Asher's grandparents, Mel and Debbie Gottlieb, and his parents, Aaron and Erica. And I'd ask everyone to please rise as we open the ark. Ein kmocha Elohim Adonai, v'ein kemasecha, malachutecha malchut kol olamim, umemshaltecha b'chodor v'ador, Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimelach leolam v'ed, Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom, ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, u'devar Adonai Yerushalayim. This is the Torah. It contains the history of our people, which has been passed from generation to generation for over 3,000 years. It has been carried by the Jewish people from land to land, often at great peril. And Asher, we hope that Torah will always be a source of comfort to you, knowing that it connects you to all of the generations who have come before you. Asher has taken part in the Chain of Memory program, so today, when Asher takes the Torah into his arms, he also carries it on behalf of Kurt Gottlieb, his grandfather's cousin who perished in the Holocaust at the age of 12 and was not given the opportunity to reach adulthood. And now Debbie's going to take the Torah into her arms as we pass the Torah from grandparents to parents and parents to bar mitzvah. Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah. Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah. Le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai iti, Uneromema Shemo yachdav, Lecha Adonai Hagedula v'hagevura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'hahod, Ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz, Ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz, Lecha Adonai ha'mamlacha, V'yamit naseh lechol lerosh. The Torah is down. Oh, wait, hold up. Let me close the ark. You want to get it? Oh, thank you. It's not, no, it's not. That one's, yeah, that one. Now we may be seated. So normally, Asher would have marched around the congregation, and we have not changed yet our protocol. So
I've been spared.
You've been spared. Okay. So you all have You all have your Torah sheets yes, fantastic. So you'll be able to follow along with Asher as he reads from Torah. We actually have a few readers this morning. I'm going to do a little bit of reading. Mel is going to do a little bit of reading. Don't worry, Asher got his portions as well. But for the honor of the first Aliyah, we call to the Bima Hannah and Noah Gottlieb. Yamtu Chana bat Mendel Yosef Sarabasha, Vinoach ben Mendel Yosef Sarabasha, La Aliyah la Torah. And you guys.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayikach Korach ben Yitzhar ben Kehat ben Levi v'Datan ve'Aviram b'nei Eliav ve'on ben Pelet b'nei Reuven v'yakumu lifnei Moshe v'anashim mibnei Yisrael 50 و200 nesiei eda kirihei mohed anshe Shem ויקהלו על משה ועל אהרון, ויאמרו עליהם רב לכם, כי כל העדה כולם קדושים, ובתוכם אדוני, ומדוע תתנשאו על כאדוני.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam atah b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Don't worry, I had it there. You're all good. I'm going to give this to this guy. Let them look at it. For the honor of the second Aliyah, we invite to the Bima Asher's sister Eden, Ta'amod Chana bat Yitzchak la Aliyah Hasheni.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hamorah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayishma Moshe vayipol al panav vayidaber el korach v'chol adato leimor boker vayada Adonai et asher lo v'takadosh v'hikri v'elav v'et asher yitarbo v'hikri v'elav zot asu kahulahem machtot korach v'chol adato.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natah b'tzochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. For the third Aliyah, we invite to the Bima not just to bless the Torah, but to read from Torah as well. Asher's grandfather, Mel Gottlieb, and grandmother, Debbie Gottlieb. Yamtu Moshe ben Pinchas Halevi ve'ilsa, Udvora liba bat Zelig v'chana, la Aliyah la Torah.
Baruch Hu es Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Usenu v'chaim eish v'simu Elohei HaKadosh Livnei Adonai Machar Adonai Ha'esh Asher Yivchar Adonai Hu HaKadosh L'Avachem B'nei Levi V'yomer Moshe El Koach Shimona B'nei Levi Hama'at Mikain Ki Hivdil Elohei Yisrael Eskem Me'adahas Yisrael L'hakriv Eskem Elav La'avod Es Abadas Mishkan Adonai V'la'amod Livnei Ha'edah L'shatam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher nasan lanu Torah emes v'chayei olam notah b'shalchenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. For the honor of the fourth Aliyah, we invite to the Beamer Asher's parents, Aaron and Erica Gottlieb. Yamdu Yitzchak ben Moshe Udvora la'Aliyah LaTorah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch et Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch et Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
ויקרב אותך ואת כל הבני לוי איתה, וביקשתם גם כהונה. להן אתה והועדתה הנועדים על אדוני, ואחרון מהו כי תלינו עליו. וישלח משה לקרוא לדתן ולאבירם בני אליאב, ויאמרו לנעלה Hamat ki elitanu me'eretz avad halad udvash v'ha'amitenu bad midbar ki tishtarer aleinu gam yishtarer.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam etan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Now for the fifth and final Aliyah, it is my privilege to call officially as Bar Mitzvah Asher Gottlieb, Yamod Asher Yosef ben Yitzhak, Bachor Bar HaMitzvah LaAliyah LaTorah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Lo al eretz zavat halav udvash Abi otanu, vatiten lanu, nachalat sadeh v'charim, ha'enei hanashim hahem, tinoker lana'aleh, vayihar l'Moshe me'od, vayomer el Adonai el tifen el min hatam, lo chemor echad mehem nasati, v'lereoti et echad mehem. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natah b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Ashkoach Asher.
Yes.
Beautiful Torah reading. Asher, I'm going to have you go take a seat once more, because it's traditional while in the presence of the Torah to say our prayer for healing. You can follow along with the prayer on page 253. Nishaberach avotenu v'imotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah hu yivarech et hacholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah bless and heal those who are ill. Our congregational family is especially thinking of Sandy Archer, Carol Babcock, Rosalie Teddy Bono, Marilyn Berge, Adele and Harold Cohen, Sally Constein, Dawn Davis, Tom Davis, Devorah Bat Rachel, Helene Edwards, Lisa Eisenberg, Sheila Feldman, Art Fields, Jay Fisk, Amanda Garamita, Rabbi Bob Goodman, Henry Gordon, Mary Hartman, Barry Kaufman, Robert Kay, Janet Kennedy, Lonnie Lane, Eli Lerner, Barbara McDonald, David Osofsky, Laura Osofsky, Merrill Palestrant, Dr. Lynn Panavaria, Buddy Pollock, Ron Papel, Jean Posen, Randall Rout, Sandra Reznikoff, Alex Rosen, Ruthie Silver, Nicholas Sobek, Bernice Tobias, Georgia Trianophilopoulos, David Van Alstine, Ruth Van Alstine, Judy Van Gorder, Renee Weinstein, and Caroline Wank. If you have a name to add to our list this morning, please go ahead and share their names as my hand reaches yours.
Emily Berlin.
May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, and let us say, Amen. And we join together in our song for healing just below in the middle of page 253. Mi shebeira avotenu mikol habracha imotenu. May the source of strength for bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mikol habracha avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. I'm going to ask everyone to rise again as we lift and dress the Torah. Vezot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. Lai 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 lai. Ya lai 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 ya la lai 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 ya lai la lai lai la lai lai ya lai 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 ya lai 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 ya lai 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 ya la lai 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 ya lai la lai lai la Shabbat and on holidays, we don't just read from the Torah, we also read from the book of prophets. That reading is called a Haftarah, and Asher is going to be reading for us this morning from the book of Samuel. You can follow along once again on the sheets that were handed out to you.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar bin ve'im tovim, v'ratzav v'divreihem hane'emarim ba'emet. Baruch atah Adonai, haboher b'torah, u'masher avdo, u'Yisrael amo, v'imviei ha'emet v'tzedek. Vayomer Shmuel el Cha'am, lechu v'nelcha ha'gilgal, u'nhadesham ha'mlucha, ve'elchu kol ha'am ha'gilgal, vayimlechu sham et Shaul, Lifnei Adonai ba'Gilgal, vayizbechu sham zebahim shleimim, Lifnei Adonai vayishma sham Shaul, v'chol asher amartem, anshe Yisrael ad me'od. Vayomer Shmuel el kol Yisrael, Hine shamati bakolchem, lechol asher amartem li, vayamlich alehem melech, va'ata hine hamelech mitalech lifnehem, va'ani zakanti v'asavti, uvanai hinam itchem, va'ani hitelachti livnehem min urei ad hayom hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zor kol hamim tzadik bo hadarot, ha'el hane'eman, ha'omer v'yoseh, ha'medaber u'makayim, shekol devarav emet v'tzedek, al ha'torah v'al ha'avodah v'al ha'nevi'im v'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu litishav limnucha lakavod u'tifaret al hakol. Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach umbarhim otach yitbarach shimcha b'fikol hai tomid le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha'shabbat.
So becoming bar mitzvah, it's not just leading the service and reading from the Torah, it's also interpreting Torah. And Asher had a very exciting Torah portion to be able to discuss with us today, and he's going to deliver for us now what's called a Devar Torah, some words on Torah, a speech.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm so glad that even with COVID-19, we were all able to be here together as I celebrate and become a bar mitzvah. My Torah portion is called Korach. It comes from the book of Numbers, which is the 4th book of Torah. In my portion, the Israelites have been waiting to get into the Promised Land. Moses is in charge, and his brother Aaron has been named high priest, which in Hebrew, Cohen. There's a group of Israelites led by Korach, who come from the tribe of Levi, who revolt against Moses and Aaron. Korach and his partners in crime think that Moses is too controlling and has too much authority and power over all the other Israelites. They question Moses and Aaron's leadership because they believe that Moses and Aaron think they are holier than everyone else. God gets angry at Korach and his followers, Dathan and Abiram, are rebelling. He then tells Moses, "Stand back from this community that I may annihilate them in an instant." Moses then pleads to God to only punish those involved directly, and God agrees. So Moses tells everyone to move away from the homes of Korach and his accomplices. Once the other Israelites are saved, God opens up the earth and it swallows up Korach, Dathan, Abiram, and their families. This story is somewhat easy to understand. The people rebel, God gets mad, Moses debates with God, and the guilty are punished. The difficult part is that even though it was only a few people leading the group, God was willing to kill everyone, and it took all of Moses' power to persuade him otherwise. In some ways, God is justified. The Israelites have been complaining constantly since they were freed from slavery in Egypt. Even though God did so much to help them, they continue to question if it was better to be free and live in the wilderness or back in Egypt, where at least they had food and shelter, even if it was the bare minimum. Something we can take from this story is that Moses was a strong leader. He could have let everyone die because he himself was not in danger, but decided to stand up to God and help his people, who weren't all to blame. It's not easy to be a leader, and Moses showed true leadership in protecting his people from God's wrath. Most people would have just stepped back and let what's going to happen happen, but Moses took charge and didn't let his people down. For me, becoming a bar mitzvah means carrying on the traditions of my Jewish ancestors that came before me. My dad taught me what it meant to be Jewish, and my mom shared core values that she learned from her religion. Together, I feel like they have helped me become an open-minded and empathetic person and bar mitzvah. I hope to make my parents and their parents before them proud of me. As I near the end of my speech, I want to take a moment to thank everyone who has helped me become a bar mitzvah. I would not be standing on this bima if it was not for the Cantor and Dave, my Hebrew teacher. Thank you for teaching me everything I need to learn and guiding me through the bar mitzvah process. I want to thank my sister for always being there and not killing me, my parents for helping me and pushing me to practice when I would rather be skateboarding, my grandma and papa for making all the holidays amazing and taking me to all the national parks, my grampy for making me read when maybe I'd be rather doing something else. It is also important to acknowledge my grandma Doreen and Uncle Marty. I know they are here with me today. Finally, I want to thank everyone who was able to come in person and those streaming from home. Shabbat Shalom.
Asher, before you walk away, I know Mr. Dave is watching you on the live stream, so let's take a moment and wave.
He told me I'd be on this big screen in the middle of his living room.
Oh my good, what pressure.
Yeah.
All right, so now I'd like to invite to the bima Asher's grandfather, John Crone, and Aunt Kirsten Kell. And let's turn to page 258 for the prayers for our country.
Thus says Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of lawlessness, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. Share your bread with the hungry, and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing, and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in the darkness.
O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife. and may our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen.
Thank you so much. We're going to turn back to page 256 and let us rise as we return the Torah to the ark. We can be seated. Asher, come back over to the podium. So you have finished all of the many things that you've been working on for months and months and months. So now you can take a deep breath. But you can't sit down yet because there are a lot of people who would like to talk with you. And the first who are going to come up are your parents, Aaron and Erica.
It's going to be a long time. No, I'm just kidding. Doesn't it feel good to have it all done? Oh, amazing. So Asher, your mom and I are so blessed to be able to celebrate your bar mitzvah with you today. It is truly a miracle that during the worldwide pandemic you were able to thrive in school and prepare for your bar mitzvah. None of us expected to be in the synagogue today to celebrate this special moment in your life, but here we are, nothing like we envisioned. I've reflected a lot on your bar mitzvah experience and wanted you to know how proud your mom and I are. In order for you to be prepared for today, most kids are in Hebrew school and go to synagogue and go to other children's bar and bat mitzvahs. You've had a lot of practice and you would have had a lot of observation and practice leading up until today. But even without all that, that would have prepared you for today, you still have accomplished being part of the service, completing your Torah, your Haftorah, as well as your speech. While we're proud of you, we're not surprised. You always prepare and expect the best out of yourself, no matter what you are doing. Good isn't good enough. Great's better, but it's not perfect. You are always striving for perfection. Those of you who know Asher know that this applies to everything that he does. Soccer, sailing, skateboarding, school, or even working for his summer jobs. Asher takes life seriously. He likes to play and work hard, and it is not a surprise to hear Asher up at 6 a.m. in the morning to practice his skateboarding, then go to school, do homework in the car, skateboard for another half hour when he gets home, and then go to soccer practice. When he gets home from soccer practice, he may still go back out and practice skating, then eat, do more homework, and then he's off to bed. His energy and passions are boundless. Becoming a bar mitzvah is a ritual or rite of passage that signifies that you're becoming a Jewish young man. The pandemic may have kept you from the normal bar mitzvah preparation, but it didn't stop you from accomplishing your goal. Today, I can say you've succeeded beyond our expectations. It's important to remember this accomplishment as you get older. As life gets tougher and more complicated, you can always reflect on this time and recognize that you can still achieve your goals. Your bar mitzvah is a symbol of what you can accomplish during these times. As you go through your teenage years and as a young Jewish man, it's important that you recognize Judaism as a way of life. While you know that it is your religion, Judaism is more than that, than just going to synagogue and saying your prayers. Judaism is rooted in your family, our rituals, and celebrations on how we identify ourselves. It's important to keep our family traditions and their connection to Judaism alive. They are not just for you, they are for your children, your grandchildren, and the Gottliebs for generations to come. The Hebrew name Asher translates to the English words happy or blessing. Your mom and I wanted to have another child and waited for 7 long years before you came into our lives. You truly were our blessing. Quickly after you were born, you were plagued with food sensitivities that caused you to scream 24 hours a day. So it was definitely a challenge to be happy. We couldn't see the future that led to this day and all that we would live through. So standing here today with my healthy family in person at your bar mitzvah, I can truly say that you have made us happy. Thank you.
Now I'd like to invite over to the podium our president-elect, representing our Board of Trustees, Miriam Greenhut.
Hello, everybody, and it's so good to be here. And I introduced myself to Asher, but I had a mask on, so I'm going to do it again. I'm Miriam. Nice to meet you. And Mazel Tov. You have done a fantastic job. We are so proud of you, as I know your friends and family are. So Mazel Tov, everybody. And I am here representing the temple and the Board of Trustees because we want to acknowledge all of your hard work and the dedication that got you here today. And there's lots of goodies. This morning, you've demonstrated your readiness and enthusiasm to participate more fully in the religious life of temple and to continue with your Jewish studies. To acknowledge that, we have some gifts for you that we hope you will be able to use in the future when you engage in Jewish life. On behalf of the temple and the Board of Trustees, there is a Kiddush cup. On behalf of Sisterhood, there is a pair of candlesticks. On behalf of Cantor, there is a mezuzah. And on behalf of Brotherhood, there is a travel-size Torah. We also have a number of certificates in these envelopes. One is the certificate from the temple for your bar mitzvah. Another is a certificate for your participation in the Children of the Holocaust program. And I was incredibly impressed that you did that on behalf of a family member. That's truly lovely. We're also pleased to present to you with a special gift from the Jewish Federation of Jacksonville. This certificate enrolls you in the Federation's Joan Levin Gift of Israel program. The Federation provides a subsidy of up to $700 towards almost any travel program to Israel. And NIFTY also provides you with a certificate for $250 for a NIFTY program in Israel. And I also want to applaud your participation in the B'nai Tzedek program. This is a program, for everyone who doesn't know, a program designed to teach and encourage young philanthropy. And we hope that many B'nai Mitzvah will follow your example and participate in that program. All of us here, your parents, Cantor, your teachers, and the whole congregation look forward to sharing many more occasions with you and your family here at Temple. Once again, Mazel Tov. You crushed it. You did a great job, and we're very excited for you.
Thank you, Miriam. It's my turn. You want to come over here? Let's get you your step back.
I need the steps so I look tall.
He was a little upset with me when I moved it out of the way for Mel. He said, you gave away my secret. But Ashley, you're not the only one who uses this step. I promise half of the Sisterhood ladies at their installation last night needed this step. So Asher, there's a Hebrew saying, acharon, acharon chaviv. In modern speech, it could be translated as the last but not the least. Honestly, though, that doesn't really do it justice. A better translation would be the last, the very last, is the sweetest. For the past 18 months, for better or for worse, I've been Temple's clergy as we went through our search for our new rabbi. Yes, we had a wonderful visiting rabbi who joined us monthly over Zoom, but our B'nai Mitzvah this year have been in my hands. And you, Asher, are the very last, and for me, the sweetest. And yes, you do happen to be very sweet. It was always a pleasure to see your smiling face when we would meet together on Zoom. You are kind and thoughtful, and your impish grin is delightful. But you also represent for me the culmination of a lot of hard work, much of it new territory. And as I look back, I'm filled with pride for the work I accomplished, and also excitement for the new journey ahead of me when our new rabbi and educator join us in July. And I bet that you might be feeling similarly right about now. As you look out at your family and friends, I hope that you feel their pride in all you have accomplished. I hope that you feel you have achieved something big, that today you've leveled up. Most importantly, I hope you realize that this transitional moment is not the end of your Jewish journey, but only the gateway to the rest of your life. Today you take responsibility for your own Jewishness and your own practice of mitzvot. Becoming bar mitzvah means that the Torah is yours in a new and deeper way, yours to learn and to teach, to question, and to celebrate. Becoming bar mitzvah means that the mitzvot are yours in a new and deeper way, yours to practice, to wrestle with, strive to understand. Though tradition teaches that today your good deeds and your mistakes accrue to your karmic balance and no longer to your parents, may they still be privileged to walk beside you and offer guidance. And we all look forward to continuing to learn from you as you become the person you most deeply yearn to be. May we, your community, and your family be a blessing for you as you are a blessing for us. And to all of your family, today marks a transition for all of you as well. Whether you live under one roof or several, whether you're related by blood or affection, you are family to one another, and your lives are all impacted by this milestone. Perhaps recent months have been filled with the lilt of Torah practice. Perhaps you helped our bar mitzvah in doing acts of justice and loving kindness. Perhaps you've been a shoulder to cry on. Perhaps you needed a shoulder to cry on. Take a deep breath and let it all go. Be in this moment surrounded by those who love you, celebrating this milestone with community in the presence of God. May the sweetness of this day stay with you as you walk the road ahead toward this bar mitzvah becoming more truly the person he is meant to be. And I'd ask everyone to please rise as we open the ark. May God bless you and keep you. May God's light shine upon you and be gracious to you. May you feel God's presence within you always, and Asher, may you be given the greatest gift of all, the gift of peace. And let us say once more, Amen. Stay here. I'm going to have everyone, please, we're going to keep the ark open and turn to page 282 for the Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשינו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 287. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו Mazel tov, sir. Please be seated. Go sit down with your parents. Page 293. Our thoughts turn now to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. This Shabbat, we observe the yahrzeit here at Congregation of Hat Chesed of Sigmund Bachner, Samuel D. Boehm, Monty W. Barwald, Joshua Bay, Robert Coleman Jr., Luke Z. Conroe, Robert Edwards, Rosalie Isaac Finkley, Harriet K. Gerson, Jenny Wagner Goldstein, Martin Greenberg, Joseph Hartman, Robert H. Jacobs, Samuel Jarislaw, June Lee, John Meyer, Jacqueline Meyer Madero, Gertrude Ringgold, Marilyn Lightman Rubin, Joseph Schlesinger, Ruth Silber, Sadie Silverstein, Sidney Staring, Ida and Sidney K. Storch, Richard Temko, Sheila Temko, Julian Wachel, Milton Yales, Ida Rosen Zimmerman. Also in this time of memory, the Gottlieb family is especially thinking of Marty Gottlieb, Doreen Krohn, Lillian Meislick, Anne and Sid Rubens, Saul and Ilsa Gottlieb. And if you have any names to add to our list this morning of someone that you are remembering at this time, please go ahead and share their name now. So for all of those whom we named aloud and those we hold dear in our hearts, we turn together to page 294 and rise as we extol God's name with the words of Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach la'alamul almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shmei dekudsha b'richu, le'ela min kol birachata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, amen. Please be seated. You'll be able to find our concluding song this morning on page 321. After which I will invite Asher back up with his family for a short Kiddush and Motzi. Adon olam Asher malach v'terem kol yitzir hira le'eit nasa v'chefso kol azar melech shemo nikra adon olam v'yacharei kislotav kol v'ado yimloch nora adon olam v'hu haya v'hu hodeh v'hu yeh v'tifara adon olam adon olam Asher malach v'terem kol yitzir hira le'eit nasa v'chefso kol azar melech shemo nikra adon olam v'hu echad ve'ein sheni l'ham shelo l'chafira adon olam v'li reshit v'li tachlit v'lo ha'os l'hamisa adon olam adon olam Asher malach v'terem kol yitzir hira le'eit nasa v'chefso kol azar melech shemo nikra adon olam v'hu eli v'chai goli v'tzorchav li v'yitzara adon olam v'hu nisi humanos li v'nakosi b'yom ekra adon olam Asher malach v'terem kol yitzir hira le'eit nasa v'chefso kol azar melech shemo nikra adon olam biyado afkid ruchi le'eit yishan ve'yahira adon olam ve'im ruchi geviyati adon ali v'lo ira adon olam Asher malach v'terem kol yitzir hira le'eit nasa v'chefso kol azar melech shemo nikra adon olam Asher, bring your family up. And Asher, would you lift the Kiddush cup for us? It's grape juice, just so you know. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Take it up.
And would you uncover the challah for us? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. B'te'avon, take the first bite. Asher, everybody please take some challah. Now Asher led us so beautifully. He led us in the service. He read from Torah. He chanted Haftarah and delivered his beautiful interpretation. All that's left is for us to wish him and his family a hearty Mazel Tov. Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov. Yehelanu, 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 Hulakol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Hulakol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Hulakol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Hulakol Yisrael. Mazel Tov and Shabbat Shalom.